Hi everyone, it's Loretta, and I'm going to show you how I made the votive holders that I'm selling in my upcoming craft fair. So first thing I'm doing is I'm taking this circle, which is about 2 1/4 inches. You can die cut this, you can punch it, and this is cardstock. And I'm just using a cosmetic sponge and a brown ink. This is from Gina K Designs. And now I'm going to take this pattern piece of paper and I'm going to just go over the edges of it as well, just to kind of just dress it a little bit, give it a little bit of more aid. And we're going to layer those on top of the other. But you're going to need the glass jars, you need candles, hot glue, flowers of your choice, and some lace for this project. So now that we've got that sponge, we're going to continue on with this process. Just get this ink out of our way. And I'm going to take this circle that I've already sponged and put some glue on the back and center that into place and just hold it there for a second. You could also use a small doily of some kind and do that. If you get ink or glue outside of where you want it, just take your baby wipe and just clean that off. Okay, so there we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and glue this jar onto the circle. Clean up the spider webs later. And while I have this glue gun out, I'm going to go on and put a dab of glue in the bottom of this jar. Drop in my candle and kind of squash it in there. Next thing you're going to want to do is take a lace of your choice. Both of these and even this one would work. The wider the better, and I just like to kind of put it up against the votive and see if it's too wide or wide enough. And they are both a little bit too wide. I don't want them so tall that when you light the candle that it's going to set it on fire. This is where you get the reasonable caution lecture again, my friends. Use reasonable caution. Don't be stupid. Don't burn down your house. So I haven't had some other lace in my collection. And I'm going to use this one right here. Now when I'm doing these, I usually am making a bunch at one time, so I have the pieces pre-cut. But since I just decided to go ahead and do this while I have my camera out today, I'm just going to wing it. Just going to cut off a piece of the lace. To start, we're going to just lay this little guy on its side and put a bead of hot glue right there. This is a Surebonder Pro hot glue gun. The temperature is about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You will burn yourself, so once again, use reasonable caution. We'll put that into the hot glue, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this around and put another dab of hot glue right there. We will trim this up in just a minute, but for now we're going to use it as a tail, so to speak, to hold this into place. And we're going to hold it there as tightly as we can for just a minute. Like this little piece of hot glue right here. Now that it's dry, we'll be able just to clip that off with a pair of scissors. Now I'm going to take this piece right here and trim off the excess. I should have paid attention and gotten that a little bit straighter than I did, but you're not necessarily going to see it. Now what you're going to do is take the flowers of your choice to decorate this with. I have these little, whatever they are, flower stamens, or they're just basically floral accents. So I have those, and I have these flowers, but I've decided that it might be really cute to use this towards the top just to decorate it a little more, and I really like that, so let's do that. And I'm going to start right here at the top and work in small sections. This lace does have a directionality. There is a raw edge, that's the raw side, and the finished edge, which is this one. I'm going to try to start pretty close to where I was with the other lace and start wrapping this around. With this piece, we're going to overlap the two and use a little bit of excess lace to hold this in place for just a minute. It surprises me that that didn't stay, but let's go ahead and re-glue that and hold it in place. And put a little bit here on this little tiny end piece right there. So far so good. This is what it looks like. Now we can use our little flowers and decorations on the candle. And I've decided to use one of these darker flowers. This is mixed media. Now these are just Paper Studio. Yeah, these are mixed media burlap flowers. I'm going to grab one of the darker ones instead of the lighter one. I think it would look nicer. And I'm going to take my scallop circle and decide where it's going to go. And put some hot glue in the middle. You could use liquid glue if you're patient enough to sit there and hold it. E6000 won't work great. I am not that patient, so it's going to roll to its side for just a second while I put hot glue on the flower itself. Be generous, but not so generous you're going to end up having to peel all the spider webs off. If you do get any excess spider webs, you can always peel them off later. And I'm keeping these well away from the top once again, so that when the candle is lit, you don't have to worry about it. So next, we're going to let this sit aside and dry. I'm going to pull in my paper trimmer. This part is optional, but we might as well show you how I'm packaging these. So I have this paper pack. This is from the Paper Studio. And I'm going to pick a paper that I like. So 2 sheets of the paper I like. I love this. I think you get 4 of each piece in these paper packs. This is what it looks like on two sides, the long side and the short side. Now I apologize if you hear the hiccups. I very rarely get hiccups since my fundoplication, but I do still get them. And I'm going to simply glue these two together. Okay, now that you have those two together, if you'd like, you can sponge the edges. Of course, because my desk is a mess right now, I can't find the Gina K I used earlier. So I'm going to just use this Rich Cocoa from Memento to sponge the edges of this one. Now, what I'm about to do, I learned the hard way, because this is the only way it will work. I tried to put this in the bag and then put the candle in on top of it, and it just doesn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our candle, and once again our handy dandy hot glue is going to go in the middle. We're going to eyeball it for center. And just hold it with our hand for just a minute or so. Probably not even a minute. I'm using these treat bags. These are from Walmart, and they are 5.5 by 11. So what we're going to do is go ahead and open this up, fuss with it until we get it nice and flat inside the bag. Now, I'm going to use some of this white thread. Right off camera, I'm going to get a piece that's way bigger than I need so that I can wrap it around several times. So I'm just going to pull this up to about where I think I need it to be. I'm going to let it face towards me. And holding onto the top, I'm going to go ahead and start tying the bow. And then once I know I have it where I want, kind of even out the length of the tails and pull it taut. I'm going to first tie a knot. And then I'm going to tie the bow. Now, I could have actually gotten that a little lower, so we're just going to fix that real quick. Flip out all this string. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the top of this and cut all this extra bag off. Okay, so just so you guys know, I did decide to charge $4 a piece for these. You can burn these. I suggest that you make sure that you can watch them. You don't want to leave a burning candle unattended anyway, but especially one that's got frou-frou on it. Remove any of the paper that's on the bottom of it. The big paper anyway, before you burn it. The small paper would be fine. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know when I upload a video, hit that little bell by the subscribe button, and you'll be notified via email when I do upload. So anyway, stay happy and be a blessing. I will talk to you all very soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.